Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniel Hayden and I'm the inventor of the Hayden's Hextrainer. The Hextrainer is basically 6 pommels connected together to create a hexagon. And what the way that the skills are developed is that the athlete is going to basically go 30 degrees at a time to do their check here, their Stockley, their Russians, and their spindles. And so with the 30 degree increments, they're going to be basically doing 6 steps to learning those 4 foundational skills. The more, or the check here, the Stockley or backmore, the Russians, and the spindles. I wanted to tell you a little bit about my background with how I thought up the Hextrainer. 4 years ago, they came out with all the new rules after the Olympics, and I noticed that they actually took the pommels away from level 8 and they were just doing a leather routine. And so what I decided to do, I thought, well, if they wait until level 9 to do pommels, then I thought that's going to really hinder the boys' development on the pommels. And if they wait until level 9, it could add fear to the boys, and it could really put our country behind. And so what I wanted to do is develop something that the boys at a young age could start working on the pommels and preparing for the pommels for level 9. So not only will they be used to it, but they'll be proficient and they will be able to master the pommels. And so I think we have a good program for learning the leather and learning how to swing on the leather. I think the mushroom is a great tool to utilize for the beginner and to start working on the circle. But I feel like there's a missing piece between the mushroom and the leather horse, and then also to work on the pommels on the Olympic horse. And so I feel like the Hextrainer is the missing puzzle piece of a perfect pommel horse training system. And that's why I developed it, so that the boys can utilize the Hextrainer at a young age and develop all their skills in 5 and 6 progressions. So the learning curve with the Hextrainer is about 2 or 3 years faster than anything that you can do on the pommels. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about the methodology behind it. I'm excited about the boys being able to feel success immediately when they start swinging on the pommels. And so basically I feel like there's a few prerequisites before swinging on the Hextrainer. I think it should be a minimum for the athlete to be able to do 10 to 20 circles in a row. And they should be proficient with good form, legs straight, toes pointed, legs together, good extension. I feel like that is a good prerequisite for the boys before they start on the Hextrainer. And then if you look at it, that's really usually around level 4 and level 5. So most level 5s and 6s can work and utilize the Hextrainer. Today we're going to go through my methodology, and so we're going to take one of the skills, the basic 4 skill groups, and we're going to take the check here and we're going to break down my methodology into the 6 progressions that you can apply to the Stockley, the Russian, and the spindles. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background of my philosophy and how I designed my methodology so that you can utilize that on all your skills. We have a lot to talk about today, and I wish I could show you even more, but we're going to have to probably create another video where we'll go through the methodology behind the Stockley, the Russians, and the spindles, and then we can also utilize the Hextrainer to build the more difficult skills. What I'd like to talk to you about is basically for content reasons, I want to explain a little bit about the 6 progressions. What the 6 progressions are, basically, each progression you advance 30 degrees. So you basically have 6 30-degree progressions, and you're advancing for each progression that you advance, you're going 30 degrees for each skill. So basically, when the first 3 progressions, you're going to complete 90 degrees of the check here. Grant is going to be our demonstrator. Grant is a level 9, and he's been working on the Hextrainer off and on for about 2 years. And he's really utilized the Hextrainer a great deal to improve his pummel work. And so the first step to getting familiar with the Hextrainer is to do 5 sets of 10 circles or 10 sets of 5 circles, depending on what level you're starting with. I recommend for level 5 doing 10 sets of 5 circles. For level 6, working their way up to 5 sets of 10 circles. Excellent. Very good extension. Excellent. And I like the way that Grant is counter-rotating the first quarter and the third quarter. And really the design of the hexagon helps in teaching the athlete to counter-rotate. If they do not counter-rotate, they will scrape their hips on the corners of each of the first quarter and the third quarter. And it's kind of a self-teacher. Okay, very good, Grant. And when the athlete can do 5 sets of 10 circles like that, then they're ready to begin their first progression of the check here. Grant, can you demonstrate the first step and progression of the check here, please? Excellent. Now you noticed Grant started with 2.5 circles, went to 30 degree more, and did 1 full circle and finished in a nice straight body position. That's ideal. In my methodology, I'm doing all my progressions starting with 2.5 circles and then working their way up to 2.5 circles to each progression. That way, the athlete is building strength in their shoulders, their forearms, and their wrists and their hands. We could do 1 circle to check here, but I feel that it's more progressive to do the 2.5 circles, and it helps the athlete to get stronger. And as they go through all 6 progressions, they're going to get stronger, and it's almost like a reward. Once they get through all 6 progressions and they accomplish all 6 progressions, they're going to be able to eliminate one of the circles and go 1.5 circles to progression 1 or progression 2. And that feels much, much easier then, and they gain more confidence with it. Okay, Grant, if you can show us one more progression 1, and then we're going to go to progression 2. Very nice. Excellent. As you notice, Grant did only 3/4 of a circle out of the first progression, and then out of the second progression, he did 1.5 circles. And with my methodology for levels, for progressions 1, 3, and 5, they only do 3/4 circle, finish in a straight body. For progressions 2, 4, and 6, these are the more important progressions. And these progressions, I want to see more control and show 1.5 circles out of the skill. That tells me that that athlete has full control of that progression. Now in progression 1, basically what Grant does is he's going to take his left hand, move it over 1 pommel, and then do 1 circle and then finish on these 2 pommels. And as you can see, he's got 1 pommel in between his 2 hands, and that is progression 1. Now for progression 2, he's still going to utilize this pommel. So he's going to slide his left hand over 1 pommel, just like he did progression 1, but his right hand is going to go to the parallel pommel, and that's where he's going to do 1.5 circles and finish in a straight body. That's progression 2. Okay. Grant's going to show progression 3 now. And he's going to move his left hand over 2 pommels and his right hand over 1 pommel and finish with 1 pommel in between the 2 hands in a straight body. That's progression 3. And now Grant's going to show progression 4, where he's again going to move his left hand over 2 pommels, and then his right hand's going to go to the parallel pommel. One and a half circles, and finish in the straight body. Very good. Okay, now we're going to talk about the hand placements for progression 3 and progression 4. Okay, Grant starts his hands on these 2 parallel pommels, and he's going to move his left hand over 2 pommels, 1 and then 2, and then he's going to come over and he's going to do 1 circle and put that hand behind his back and finish with the pommel in between his hands. And that's progression 3. Now progression 4, he's going to do the same thing with his left hand. He's going to move his left hand over 2 pommels, and then he's going to circle 1.5 circle behind his back, but he's going to take this right hand and go to the parallel pommel right across from his left hand. Okay, now Grant, please show us progression 5 now. Grant's going to move his hand over. Very nice. Now progression 5 is very close to the real check here that you're going to be doing on the pommel horse, the Olympic pommel horse, but he cuts it short by 30 degrees. And Grant's going to start progression 5 with his 2 hands on the pommels that are parallel to one another. He's going to do his 2.5 circles. He's going to take his left hand. He's going to come over and place it on the same hand, same pommel as his right hand. We're getting closer and closer to that real full 100% check here that he's going to perform on the Olympic pommel horse. And then he continues to circle, and he's going to come over and do progression 5 and put his hand right on this pommel, leaving 1 pommel in between his 2 hands. And now he's going to show progression 6, and this is the complete full check here that he'll be performing on the pommel horse, the Olympic pommel horse. Very nice. Okay, now we're going to show the hand placements for progression 6. So he starts with his 2 hand placements on the 2 parallel pommels. He does his 2.5 circles. Then he comes and takes his left hand and brings it over to the same pommel that his right hand's on. And then he's going to come around, circle. He's going to go behind his back, circle around, and put his right hand on the parallel pommel, doing 1.5 circles, finishing a straight body. And that will be his complete check here that he's going to perform on the Olympic pommel horse. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now Grant's going to show us the final product coming from the Hextrainer. He's going to show the check here on the Olympic pommel horse.